Yo, come on, come all, nothing but love, nothing but respect. You know what we do, what we done, what we is, what we isn't, and what we is here today. Bring you guys and girls chapter 1056 of One Piece. I've got with me today Eggs for Brekkie, aka Daniel. Say hello, my guy.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Yo, just saying that out loud. Do you know how crazy it is thinking that One Piece has hit 1056 chapters? Like, it was only the other week that chapter 1000 was coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 56 actually, that's a long time.
Like, that is a good long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I definitely still remember chapter 1000.
Mm, mm. Absolutely
It
wild.
wasn't very far ago.
Yeah, absolutely wild. Some separate stuff. Some information's come out. New SBS has come out. I don't know if I've got the details for it up in front of me as well. And on top of the SBS coming out, Film Red has released in a few countries around the world. I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not going to be talking about spoilers for the movie. But I have seen a description or breakdown of stuff that got revealed in chapter 4 billion, which is the manga tie-in sort of thing for the movie. And there's some crazy juicy stuff in there that I don't know if you've actually heard about yet, Daniel.
I haven't, no.
So I'll get to that after we talk about the chapter a bit, I think. Okay.
hmm
But starting off, we've got this the world's continuation, and we've got Uta here and her little bit of tie-in here with the manga. I didn't pick this up on my first read through, right? But is that not four kids running away? One I'm assuming is Uta, and the person like that silhouette that kind of looks like a building is actually Shanks.
Yeah. That's what I kind of expected it to be.
Yeah. So originally, I thought that was a building. That's Shanks with his straw hat though, back in the day,
Yeah.
which is cool to see in silhouette. But it's like it's nothing I've ever really seen before, so I just wouldn't have picked up on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, true.
And we've got Uta. She's figured out the lyrics and that while talking, like looking about her memory. And we see her back in flashback walking around Windmill Village, Luffy's home village, with Lucky Roo and Shanks, which is kind of cute and kind of cool. But I think it's another chapter of sort of like nothing really happening, and none of it's really going to make sense until we see the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Which I'm keen to see the movie. It's apparently already made 2.3 or 3 billion yen in box office revenue.
Okay, nice.
So it's the highest grossing One Piece movie by a significant margin opening weekend.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they did a lot to promote it.
Oh, Hunter. Dude, people that haven't even seen One Piece but just knew of Shanks were like, I'm going to see this movie. Um, and we've got the cover page here. And you know it's going to be a sick chapter when my guy Katakuri is on the front. Um, now that this has happened, I'm sort of sitting here and like, well, shit, what are the Vinsmoke going to do here? Because we already saw how this played out before. You know what I mean?
True, yeah.
Considering Ichiji last time got like 3 second no diffed by Katakuri, um, I'm skeptical to see anything of significant value happen here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say maybe might catch me by surprise is Caesar, because they don't. It doesn't seem like they know Caesar's here. So maybe if Caesar removes the oxygen in the area, Oven and Katakuri will have to retreat. But who knows?
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. He's back. He's full health. He's GG, and this is pretty. We're not too sure when this is, but it was implied that it was like nearly directly after Whole Cake Island, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I kind of gathered.
Because this is happening in the past to the current events at the moment by a significant margin. So he's already all healed up from his fight against Luffy, which is kind of like, okay, I mean, dude can recover better than some other people we've seen recently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, there's not much going on there. It's crazy to think we're already at volume 15 of this story though.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the entirety of this story could have been summed up at this point in 5 chapters.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But yeah, anyway. We cut to the flower capital, and Rizo's alive. I'll take that one. I'll take that
Yes, I know. Yeah.
one. But mind
It was
you,
one- it was, to be honest, like it was one of those things where like we have this long ass conversation. It's like, I mean, we're gonna find out next week.
the funniest thing though is even this chapter is like straight up said like if they didn't get immediate medical attention, they were dead. So it's like
Yeah.
if that was any other character, like king or queen, it's like okay, you can write them off.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know
I
what
mean, that's the thing is that like king and queen didn't get medical attention, so they could be dead or they could still be alive, possibly. It just depends what Oda wants. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really any like proper guess that you can make. It's just, yeah, it's just a pure guess.
It is definitely interesting to see. But Shinobu apparently got hit as well, which made no sense considering we didn't see it happen.
I was gonna say, did I just completely miss that from last chapter?
No. If you go back last chapter, Shinobu's being held no different to the rest of the scabbards, which means Greenbull got a cheeky hit in on her as he was leaving to do that. So think about how petty that is of Greenbull. Like, gets called down his bullshit on his way out. He's like, I'm taking that vitality with me. I don't give a shit.
I like to think that Oda just goes, "Oh shit, I forgot to write that in." Oh, whatever. Just make it happen.
Hey, it happens from time to time. But Shinobu looks huge here, at least compared to the Squirrel Mink lady. You know what I mean?
It's kind of funny how she got like taller. It looks she's like significantly taller.
Because she.
And then okay, here's the thing. Chad, Rizo coming next chapter. What do you reckon?
Nah, I reckon he's still gonna look ugly.
I reckon he's still gonna be ugly just for the meme.
Yeah.
He's gonna be good, and then he's the same.
Actually, let me run this back. There's a reason why I think he's gonna stay ugly. And this is actually a small spoiler for the volume 103 SBS. All right, and it'll work in well here. All right. So they go in detail as to why Raizo and Fukurojuku had a intense rivalry. Right. So remember when we met Raizo in the Odin flashback, how he was a member of the samurai squad, but he ran away for some unknown reason, and he was like fearfully rejected by women. So turns out, right, he was actually in love with Fukurojuku's sister, right?
Right.
When she asked him for a kiss, he was so nervous he ran away and never returned, even though he loved her, right?
Right.
She eventually died of an ailment, and on her deathbed, all she could say was Raizo. Fukurojuku took that as her cursing Raizo's name, but really it was her just asking for her long-lost lover, right?
Right, okay.
So that's why he hates Raizo, and so apparently that's why his head and earlobes grew, because it was like the anger building up inside him. So that's a sad but funny tie in there.
Yeah.
That's one of those like Senior Pink little like you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't think Chad Raizo's coming. And if Chad Raizo is incoming, like I would laugh if he starts rejecting the women because he's like, oh, you know, it's not my girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that'd be interesting. I mean, I don't know if you can really look like a Chad though with that haircut and mutton chops, but that's just me. All right, you know what I mean?
That's like he's got the butt chin and the chiseled jaw,
Yeah.
but he still looks like a bit of a weirdo because of the mutton chop.
Look, I wouldn't be letting him anywhere near the flower capital. That's all I'm saying.
But like, I've got to say though, I mean, everything that we've seen Raizo do, he is the most badass out of all of the.
Oh, dude,
for sure.
he's got the best arsenal. Like, dude,
he's literally like the best out of all the scabbards.
He can do smoke bombs. He can make shadow clones. Shadow clones. Like, we don't talk about that enough. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've got this whole thing going on TikTok at the moment where I'm doing a series every day, talking about the, like, you know the debate that's been going around at the moment where it's like Naruto with unlimited chakra versus Luffy with every devil fruit. I've been going through, and I'm going to make it a series, and each day I'm going to release a video where I just say a combination of different devil fruits, and I'll be like, it's not to say like who would win or lose, it's just like, imagine that combination though, and how busted that would be to deal with, right? Dude, having Raizo's shadow doppelganger ability on top of Robin's ability to actually make clones, you could do the full on Naruto 4K barrage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, true.
Like, dude, it could be busted pretty quick. Um, but yeah, so they got done in, and we get a reason as to why Kinemon wasn't here, and obviously it's because he's all upset that he was spending time with Suru, who Suru actually survived. I'd also like to point out we never saw Hold'em at the fire festival, right? And last time we saw him, he was burning down the village with Suru in it. So Hold'em's probably still out here somewhere and active. I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a Hold'em cover series eventually. Like him trying to go around and like save the beast pirates in Wano.
Yeah, okay.
Or at least those that are left, you know what I mean?
I mean, that'd be fair, because, I mean, like, we're in the next arc now, and we're seeing flashbacks to Whole Cake a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe in our next one, we'll have flashbacks to, yeah.
So I dare say we'll probably get like Hold'em go and like save King and Queen or something like that.
Yeah.
But Tsuru is now scarred all up one side of her face. Poor, beautiful lady. Kinemon's all lovey-dovey with it, and you've got poor Raizo here, just like on the verge of death. Like, dude is like, he doesn't even have eyeballs anymore, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you reckon is worse? Getting the nutrients sucked out of you like this, or getting mummified by Croc? Or the smoothie getting your fluids yanked out.
The thing is, they're all like the same.
Yeah,
right?
dude, they're all like. I would almost say the nutrients one is worse in a way because it's like they still have their fluid in that. They're just dude, it's like their whole body is in a muscle spasm.
And also, like, to get that injury, it has to stab you to begin with. So you've already been stabbed. And then we've got, like, you can feel it all, like, getting sucked out of you. Whereas everything else, it just kind of, like, melts off of you. In a sense. In this one, it's like, you can feel that stab point and then all your guts just getting sucked through. Ugh, that would be...
It'd suck.
That'd be quite the feeling.
It would actually suck. All right. I was actually thinking about this earlier today because I was thinking of like the devil fruit combos. Imagine the woodwood fruit with the grow fruit, that dude from Film Z that makes all the plants grow and he can control how it grows.
Yeah.
So imagine like you forest the entire area as your Logia, right? And then you just autonomously control it with the grow fruit from a distance without becoming the Logia, so you don't have to worry about fighting.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy.
That'd be a pretty busted ability.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so your thoughts here on Carrot and her promotion?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, at this point, I didn't really think. Okay. So I didn't think she was going to join the crew at this point.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But my thoughts on her promotion, that is very weird. She just got promoted. Like, she's just leading the entire country now. And there's people that are stronger than her, people that are older than her, people that have held higher positions than her for longer, people that have, like, led people before, whereas she kind of never really has. It's very strange that Carrot, like, it doesn't really make any sense, right?
I also love how they straight up say, like, you've been out in the world, you know how strong people can be, so you know how strong you've got to get. So imagine, like, a 20 years time Carrot from now.
Oh, that's fair.
Because, like, and she's not strong, but she's not weak. Like, in her Sulong form, she was, like, you know, pissing off Daifuku. That's a pretty decent feat in its own right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But I also like how it does outright confirm outside of the, you know, Ino and Neko, she isn't the strongest. You know what I mean? Like, you've still got, like, the Musketeers and Wanda that are probably stronger than her in an actual fight. Which is interesting, though. It feels odd, though, that we, like, sort of get that glimpse of Zoe in that. And if they do stay here in Wano, at least there's some strong people here to stay in Wano. But that also means, in my eyes, Zoe is now, like, significantly weaker in terms of being invaded again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it for sure is, yeah. But, I mean, I think the thing is that... I don't know what's going to happen with Zoe and all that, but it seems like Zoe right now is, like, best mates with Momo, and it's probably going to stick pretty close to Wano.
It makes
maybe
sense if it
even.
patrols around the area.
I mean, do we know for sure if they can communicate mentally or not?
I would say yes, but I mean, unironically, I think. I'll, is that the voice of all things, or is that Conqueror's Haki? Because it's something that we see Shanks, Luffy, and Momo do, where they
Yeah.
telekinetically talk to other people.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's Conquerors or. I mean, I'd assume it's voice of all things, but
Or
maybe they're interrelated.
or maybe that's like using observation haki with, like, you know how you can use armament and imbue armament with conquerors.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like the observation conquerors combination where you can like telekinetically pass your will on.
Yeah, that's possible.
You know, because like all conquerors is exerting one's will on others, right? The observation like version of that, I guess, would be to be able to pass on information without communicating, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Maybe I'm crazy for that, but yeah, you know what I mean.
I get. Yeah.
Also, I love how I've been talking about how shitty it would be, like how shitty Sukiyaki is. This just made it so much worse to me. Like I was saying the other day, I was like, he needs to go tell them and that, and I'm like, I'm glad he told them, but at the same point in time in that, he's just like, yeah, but you know, now I'm here. I also want to retire, so pretend I'm not here. It's like, dude, you are such a deadbeat on so many levels, man.
It is good at least though that we got that scene.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably like a pretty like typical maybe old Japanese thing of like, no, I have let you down. I'm dishonorable. I must hide away from society now, like that kind of thing.
I, for one, love Kinemon's reaction here, and I actually think, in terms of the entire story of One Piece, Kinemon may potentially hold the title of best reactions in One Piece, because I know there are faces that are better, but they're individual instances. He has consistently had some of the funniest shots in the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you got him here. You got him when he big brained it when it turned out Denjiro was actually a good guy. You know what I mean? Remember when he came back as a ghost when we first got to Wano, and he came out like because he's got the shits and he's just shitting himself.
Yeah, true.
Like, I don't know. Outside of maybe Straw Hats, and Straw Hats don't really tend to react that much. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know, because yeah. Like, I just feel like Luffy and like Robin though.
Robin's got some good reactions, but most of Robin's reactions is just, it's cute.
No, I'm talking about like the faces, when their face warps heaps. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no,
and I'm like,
but she does it once in the entire series.
She do it once?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen it so many times.
That's just...
Luffy's done it at least twice, right? There was the playing chicken with Kaido's attack.
Mm-hmm.
Where he did it, and then there was at least one time before that.
Nope.
Luffy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it, because the first time they did that face is because Luffy got beaten.
Robin?
It was Robin, Usopp, and then you had Brook launching over him, and then Frankie did the face as well.
Okay. That should be like a section in the One Piece wiki, hey? Who has done the face and when?
Yeah, dude, 100%. Dude, I need these reactions, because it's like, Wano's probably had some of the best reactions, right? Because outside of the NL face, which is like a god tier reaction, right? I mean, it's made its way into SpongeBob memes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
But the half face, priceless. The don't be a chicken and pull away from Big Mum's fire face, priceless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oda's gotten his facial comedy on point this arc, I think.
I haven't seen anyone else do that. I feel like that's a very like an Oda thing.
The not the half face, the disgusted face that Odin and Whitebeard get when talking about Wano. Like, it's disgusting. Do you remember that? I love it. I love it. Yeah. Then we move on to another scene though, where Frankie finds out about Pluton and is like, "Oh, Pluton's here." I don't know what to make of this. Do you?
Um, it's weird because it's like it's there, but they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I don't really get it. Maybe okay. The only thing that I'm thinking of is like Luffy's kind of like, okay, no, I'm not going to do any of these easy cheat code things. I'm going to go the hard way, become Pirate King. And then once he finds out about how evil the world government is, he goes to war
Well,
against the world government, and then maybe like Momo shows up with it, and then Shirahoshi shows up as Poseidon, and then another one of the weapons shows up as well
well, I mean,
from some other way.
the way this
Like
scene.
he doesn't necessarily say, "I'm going to get all these weapons and then destroy the world government." He just kind of goes, "I need to take you down," and then all of his followers go, "We're coming and we have the weapons."
But dude, the way this scene ends, it's with Caribou again. 10 years later, doing the exact same thing. Like, oh, there's an ancient weapon there. I need to tell that guy. Like,
Yeah,
what?
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, let me do this because I forgot today is Monday. Do you know what that means?
What does that mean?
It means we've also got the official translation for this that I can pull up as well.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd use it more, wouldn't you? But I can do that from there. There we go. So, yeah, we got the Caribou face. So in the official translation, it says, "I don't believe it. Pluton's in Wano. First Poseidon, now this. I got to tell a certain someone now about this." So, who is he gonna tell? My, I know this might be weird, but my two biggest bets are Blackbeard or Dragon. And I think it would actually be hilarious if it's Blackbeard because it'd be funny as hell if he's the 10th Titanic captain.
Blackbeard is the 10th Titanic
No,
captain.
no. Caribou.
Oh, yeah, Caribou. Yeah, that would be good actually.
Because he really fits the Blackbeard crew vibe, doesn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, he's a Logia, right? Which is like the 10th.
Blackbeard was hunting down good fruits, so chances are Blackbeard went, "Hey, I'm gonna go recruit that Logia guy, and if he doesn't join me, I'll kill him."
Mm. And I mean,
Probably
dude,
he joined.
being the 10th, like, he doesn't need to be that strong. And a Logia,
Yeah.
like, being 10th in a Logia is like, yeah, that's good enough. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's crazy. Then we get the we get this scene with God, how am I forgetting his name? Momonosuke. There we go. Where he's looking for all the straw hats, right?
Yep.
And it's interesting here because he actually calls them by their names. So he goes Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper. So he's calling them in order in which they join the crew, right? Robin, Frankie, Brook, Jinbei, Yamato.
Yeah.
So I feel like this chapter coming, or at least the chapter after, we're gonna have Yamato officially join the crew, don't you?
Yep. I saw. I don't remember who it was that said this, but I saw someone saying that like it would be kind of funny if she ran to the shore and was like about to get on the boat, and they would just saw them sailing off. She just kind of got stuck on Wano. But I do think she will join. But I mean, there's always the possibility.
I mean, it'd be funny if they did abandon her, like outright.
Yeah, because I mean that's the thing. They're already at the ship, loading the ship. They didn't mention. Maybe they told her that they're leaving, but I don't know. Because like, why isn't she with them, sort of thing? Yeah. Guess she probably just went. I'm gonna go like say my final goodbyes.
But then we cut to a another scene where, like you said, we're at the port. We're at Tokage port, and it's everyone picking which island they're gonna go to or where they're gonna go. Right. So we get a new course of where everyone's gonna go here. Law's going east. Kid's going. Wait, I think that's wrong there. Oh, yeah. Law's going northeast. Luffy's going east-east. Oh, wants to go east-east, and so does Kid. But Kid ends up going east, and Luffy ends up getting southeast as a direction, right? So we're going from Wano to the exact opposite side of the new world. if the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
island is Elbath, it's very interesting that this is sort of set up like two towers on either side of the Calm Belt, especially
Yeah, right.
if they're semi-isolated nations. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and if the goal was like we're gonna create like a blockade essentially, is that like Wano and like back in the when that war was happening in the Void Century, like we're gonna make a blockade through this ocean, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's like it could even go as deep as like we created the sea on purpose.
Yeah,
We created the calm belt on purpose, and then we set up these two towers of Wano and
Elbath.
Elbath as like an alliance, so that no one could pass this point.
Because the interesting thing here is like I feel like the Calm Belt's man-made. A huge stretch of
Yeah,
ocean with literally zero winds ever. Surely
yeah,
that's man-made.
yeah. It wouldn't be just natural.
Yeah. Because there is a natural version of it in the real world, but it's nowhere near like this. You know what I mean? Nowhere near. And
Yeah,
there's only
yeah,
one. Um,
yeah, exactly. And this is like two perfect strips go around the whole world. For
where
example.
do you think Kid and Law are going to go then? Because if we're assuming the next place we go is Elbath, what do you reckon the other two islands were going to be? Because Law's pushing by the looks of it to get to Lodestar or close to it by getting to the end of the Calm Belt as quick to the end of the New World as quickly as he can.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's also crazy now because the way they got to look at it is like there's two emperors gone, so there's only two
yeah.
more that can potentially oppose them at all. So at this point in time, they've only really got to worry about the navy from their perspectives moving forward.
Yeah, they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
What I'd say is like I um I was thinking about it, right? And I was like, okay, thinking about like the destiny kind of thing of like this point in time when they're deciding which island to go to next, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have kind of themes, right? So Law is the one who's like smart and just chooses the what would be the objectively correct decision,
Yeah.
and
And
he just goes to the most direct route.
and Luffy just takes
Luffy,
fate while battling Kid.
Luffy and Kid are both kind of dumb, and they just sort of take fate. They just go, oh, whatever, the middle one, and then they draw straws to find who goes to the middle route, and Luffy loses and then goes to the other route. So what I'm thinking is like basically those two are like the people that are just like dumb going at the will of fate, but Luffy is the one who's fated to go to the right place,
Yeah. Yeah.
whereas Kid is not. And so they draw straws, and Luffy loses because the island that they're about to go to is the correct island.
Kid will look
Like the
back
island
at
that
this.
Luffy.
I reckon Kid will look back at this in years to come and be like, "This was the
Be like,
moment that
you were so
stopped him."
fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so fucking
Because do you know what the funniest thing here is? Both Kid and Law have two of the road poneglyphs.
yeah, right.
Law has the one from Zoe and Wano. Kid has the one from Whole Cake Island and Wano. Luffy's the only one
Yeah,
with three.
right.
So this is literally right here. Do you bring a stalemate or do you win? And obviously Luffy's gonna win here. So like this panel, I'm gonna come back to this in years to come and be like, this right here was the last chance Kid had at potentially getting his dream and being the Pirate King.
Yeah,
Which is sad, but it's well orchestrated, I think, to say the least.
yeah, yeah. So, am I right in saying this? Um, what is it? What I was going to say? Yeah. So Kid only has two,
Yep.
so he needs to find the one on Zoe.
Yes.
Yeah, and then so does Law. Essentially, none of them know that there's one on Zoe.
Law knows there's one on Zoe.
Okay, but he hasn't gotten it.
Yes, he does. He just didn't get the one at Whole Cake.
Okay, he doesn't get the whole cake one. Okay.
Because obviously, like, when we went to Zoe, we went with Law, remember?
Yeah.
So all of us went in there, saw Rizo, saw the poneglyph, got that poneglyph, right? Then we get to Whole Cake Island, we found out Kid had already stolen one from Big Mum, although we didn't get the full context of it, right?
Hmm.
and Luffy gets a poneglyph while there, or Brook, I should say, gets a poneglyph while there that Law doesn't end up getting access to.
Yeah.
So both of them have got 2 poneglyphs, which realistically they're in a better situation than any of the Yonko have been right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sitting on 2 poneglyphs, and then Luffy obviously got the 3rd one because Luffy's been in all 3 locations because he's a little bastard. But yo, it's crazy. Like, we're literally like we need a single poneglyph left, and this really hits me now where I'm like, what comes first, the final war or the Laugh Tale? Because I feel like in a lot of people's minds it's find Laugh Tale, final war comes after, right?
Yep.
I'm looking at it in the way Oda passes off comments. I could see final war happens and then we find Laugh Tale, where it was like, you need to go have this final war, and it's like, oh, we already did it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah,
especially since Laugh Tale is supposed to be a funny story of some capacity. So I feel like going from a funny like, what about a funny moment would make you want to fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
As opposed to you fight and then you get the funny moment.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, like it's so up in the air.
dude, it is so up in the air. It is terribly up in the air right now.
Because so here's the thing. I was thinking for a while. I was like, okay, what if like the final war happens first, and then I was like, well, yeah, because like Sabo might be captured or whatever. Like something has to force him to do it, right?
Yeah.
He's not just gonna. Yeah. And it has to be pretty significant because like Luffy's the kind of person where like he will ignore everything to chase his dream unless he needs to save a friend or something. Then it's like, oh no, I'm in. Now I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy situation. Which leads us into an even crazier situation on the next page. Cross Guild.
I love it so much,
dude. This is one of my favorite things in the entire story of One Piece. And I feel like I don't get to enjoy it as much as I should because I feel like it's not going to be around for long, right? But I hope that we get to see bounties for Marines because that's actually something I've wanted. Like, we've talked about time and time again. What would their worth be as a combatant? You know what I mean? So that would be a great thing. Number 2, Buggy has successfully made a Yonko crew. Successfully. Like, yes. he's risen from the ashes. Having Mihawk and Crocodile and Daz Bones, as well as like, essentially Buggy has all of Baroque Works and Crocodile and Mihawk, plus anything else that he has. Like, this is absolutely wild to me, and I think the scariest thing is this is Cross Guild as we see it here. I could see Buggy, like, what's Buggy's move with this, making this, right? Hunting down Marines, right? We could see an insurgence of bounty hunters, which have been sorely missed from the entire story, make a big comeback, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that is very true.
We could actually see actual good bounty hunters, the likes of like Green Bull or Fujitora, having existed. You know what I mean?
Also, it's possible that we can see bounties, so we can basically get like a rough power scale-esque thing
of Marines.
What is Vice Admiral level? Is it 500 mil or?
And going a step further, we could even see stuff like this maybe on CP members.
Yeah.
So everyone could be softball power scaled from this. Because you got to remember, it's also wanted by Buggy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, is it a personal gripe so he wants more from them? You know what I mean? Because remember, when he got beaten by Luffy, he went straight back and tried to kill him at the gallows. He's petty, right?
Yeah.
It's not in the manga, but in the anime only filler. Do you know who put Buggy in Impel Down?
No.
Garp's right hand. Bogart.
Bogart. Right.
So that's in an anime-only filler section, right? Because there wasn't too many Marines at the time. But if they kept that canon, like, could you imagine, like, turns out Bogart, like, Buggy's just got a personal gripe with people that have personally scorned him.
Yeah.
So he's just like,
They've got like an insane bounty.
screw Bogart and screw the Admirals, because the Admirals all attacked me at Marineford and all this. You know what I mean? But you know what the craziest thing about this is? We look at this like it's an alliance, but they also talk about how they're under Buggy. And we see a lot of skepticism about them being under him, but it is heavily implied that they are under him, correct?
Yes, correct.
What is Buggy going to do with this power? Because Buggy's a showman. What would be really interesting right now is, because he's got Mihawk and Crocodile, what if he starts hunting down, say, the other warlords to get them to join? Anyone that's any pirate that's been screwed over by the Marines, he tries to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, because as far as we know, this could just be the first step of this. He could just be mass recruiting again. You know what I mean? He could be bolstering his forces like crazy. Like, we've often talked about, where does Weevil come into the story? Weevil could come in as a perfect heavy hitter for this team with Mihawk.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, shit. Even they've already done it once. Could you imagine a second breakout of Impel Down?
Oh, like Buggy goes and does it?
Or like Buggy sends Mihawk or something to do it. Like,
Yeah.
like I could see, like, because imagine that, right? Anyone that didn't make it out the first time, imagine if Buggy came back for them. Like, you loved me the first time, freeing you. Imagine coming back and doing it for the rest of you that couldn't get out. Like, there are so many ways he can manipulate the power of these other people to stockpile his own forces like crazy.
No, I mean, he's got the clout as well, you know, like you could even, the thing is as well, is he could just propagandize everything. Just be like, you know, Mihawk wouldn't even join Shanks, but he joined me.
Yeah. That's the craziest shit about this. You know what I mean? It definitely leaves me in a state of like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Especially since, like, a lot of these characters, we always thought were going to just tack onto Luffy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that they're becoming their own faction does leave them as a bit more of a wild card setting.
For sure.
Which is hard, because it's like, in my perspective here, I see, like, Mihawk is just like, oh, I've got to kill time. Oh, you're putting bounties out. I'll join your organization and hunt bounties. So it's no different to what he did with the Marines, right? Crocodile, I can see Crocodile being like, I'm smarter than this clan. I was in prison with him. I saw him. I know this. I can manipulate him into doing what I want. But inadvertently, by trying to manipulate Buggy, he's getting manipulated by Buggy. You know what I mean? Like, by like, because Crocodile's like, you know, the shadowy, like, I'm the organization leader figure sort of thing.
Yeah.
Dude is just in the backdrop, like, I'm manipulating Buggy to do this, but I've got to play dumb to make it seem like it's his idea sort of thing, to play up that ego, only for Buggy to sort of just actually end up being in control of Crocodile, unironically.
Yeah.
Second thing is, the bounties down here, right? We see a 2-star, 3-star, and a crown. What do you think is, like, is that a rating system? Is that a price level? Because I think this is in direct relation to what Doflamingo did with the star system in the Dressrosa arc.
Okay. And that's essentially like the accepted underground sort of.
So, like, 2-star is 200 mil, 3-star 300 mil. I don't know what a crown would be, right?
Maybe 5. Maybe that's like the V in
maybe,
right, like Roman numerals. So then you go crown 1, 2
or,
stars.
or maybe he's like a vice admiral or something. Like, maybe the admirals haven't got wanted posters, and it just goes up to vice admirals, because it's just like, you don't want to start that sort of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. You know what I mean? Alternatively, it could be like 20 mil, 30 mil. Like, it could be either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is definitely crazy, and this leaves so many open doors to just be like, shit. especially for people that like we've always been like, oh, where are they going to sit in the story going forward? The problem is though, because they're under Buggy, I want to say that they will be more geared towards our allies in a sense, but we have no idea what kind of BS will happen. Like, could you imagine if this point in the time, in this point in time with this setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Buggy actually came directly after Luffy again?
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. If his right hand is now Mihawk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine like a Davy back fight going up against Cross Guild?
That'd be pretty cool.
And it's that bunky sort of like no reasoning sort of shit that Buggy does, where he just like jumps onto something and does it. Because Buggy right now is like, oh, I'm an emperor, I've got all these powerful underlings. Sees Luffy get the same clout, and he's like, nope, nah, not doing that. No siree, you are not on my level. Because like unironically, like back in day one, Buggy was handling Luffy reasonably. Like they had a reasonable back and forth. You know what I mean? Like Buggy weren't no pushover. He just got kicked in the nuts and done super dirty. Like it's just as the series gone on and everyone else has gotten stronger, he just kind of lagged. But I mean, we got the awakening here, don't we?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's move on to the next section. The man with the burn scar. Okay. So specifically in the Viz, they said, "What you mean finding the man with the burn scar?" So it's not the fire scar or the man marked by fire. It's the burn scar. Aokiji?
Yes. That's my immediate thought was Aokiji.
Yeah.
It seems almost too easy.
Yeah. But it makes sense in a lot of ways. I mean, unironically as well, Aokiji was part of Ohara, so maybe he does know more about poneglyphs in like a sense of like what the public might see him with. And being a former admiral would be expected to know secrets of the world government, perhaps.
Yeah. Could have just taken an interest in general.
Oh yeah, definitely so. And then obviously this chapter ends with Yamato saying she wants to go join the Straw Hats and live the way Oten did. So I feel like both of us can agree next chapter is probably going to be next chapter or the chapter after is going to be Yamato joining the crew.
I think she's basically a part of it.
Yeah.
Already.
Which is good. Katarina and Devon can finally actually have a high tier fight. Mythical Zone versus... Dude, 2 Mythical Dog Zones.
Seriously, I don't understand how anyone can stand up against the Straw Hats right now. It's just insane. The fact that like Jinbei is like one of the weakest out of the top, like the weakest out of the top 5.
Yeah.
There's
No, I mean...
people.
I mean... the fact that Frankie doesn't make it into the top 5 is what you really should be saying there. Or, like... Frankie took a nuke to the face on the future island of Baltimore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pre-time skip. He can shoot laser beams. He has a giant, like, 8-meter, 10-meter tall mech.
Yeah. Even Frankie is an absolute monster.
Like, it is so stacked right now. To the point where it's like the Grand Fleet's just kind of gonna just kind of be there in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, what's going on in the chat here? Especially since Oda made a showcasing of assassins coming after... Oh! Okay, so thoughts on Buggy breaking out Dofi? That's what the chat's saying.
If he is going to...
Yeah, if he does it, because I think that was in relation when I was saying like, what if he tries to break some of the prisoners out of Impel Down? It'd be interesting.
The only problem that I have with that is that like Dofi is too much of a manipulator to really go under anyone.
Mihawk though could shut that shit down in a heartbeat, arguably.
The thing is that Mihawk is like he would join because he's just chill and he doesn't care. But I feel like Dofi, if he was like under anyone, he would just find it fun to just fuck with them and like You know what I mean? Like try to just ruin their whole organization from the
Can
inside.
Dofi cut
Not
Buggy?
because he wants to, but just because he thinks it's fun. Like, you know? Yeah, so I feel like if Dofi was working under Buggy, he would just be like constantly fucking with him.
What if it's essentially from their perspective, right?
Mhm.
It's essentially as if Doflamingo is leading it. It's just Buggy's a figurehead. The only unironic thing is Dofi can't cut Buggy.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like Buggy just getting all the people that use sharps as weapons as underlings gets a busted ass crew. It's just like, you can't hurt me, so I'm the de facto leader.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Um. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. That's the chapter though. Now to talk a little bit about some of the other information. So these things come from chapter 4 billion apparently, right? This is where the information I've gotten come from. You may take this how you will. So they describe apparently, allegedly, right? They describe three very important things, right? Number one is Shanks's bounty and origin from 12 years ago and onwards, right? So his origin is apparently he was found by Roger and Rayleigh in a treasure chest as a baby at God
And
Valley.
what is this?
This is from chapter 4 billion. So this is the manga. This is a manga that got handed out with the premiere of Film Red.
Right.
So this isn't stuff from the movie. This is stuff from the manga. Like a manga handout, like chapter 0. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So apparently, and there's also some of this is from SPS 103, right? So like this little part of the story is from 103. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shanks was found on God Valley by Roger and Rayleigh in a treasure chest as a baby. So you know that like, oh, it's been so long since we looked after a baby sort of thing?
Yeah.
That is because Shanks has always grown up on the Roger Pirates crew from birth, essentially.
Right.
So that's the first bit of information. Second thing is, at the time of the Luffy flashback at the beginning, like chapter 1 of One Piece, Romance Dawn,
yep.
Shanks had a bounty of 1 billion and 4 million.
Right.
So
he wasn't a Yonko then, right?
no.
Okay.
No, he wasn't a Yonko. He became a Yonko 6 years later. But that was back when Higuma the Bandit still thought he had a whopping 8 mil over Shanks.
Yeah, right.
So crazy stuff there, right?
Yeah.
This next thing is really gonna get you going, right? So they talk a little bit about the top 3 combatants of the Red Hair Pirates and how they fight.
Right.
Lucky Roo? Sorry, not Lucky Roo. Yasop, right?
Yep.
Yasop allegedly has the ability to permanently see the future.
Whoa.
He is in a permanent state of future sight.
Whoa, that's cool. Is this just like an information card? How are we getting this much information?
From chapter 4 billion, which is like a manga tie-in sort of thing.
Yeah, so, but is it just like a data book?
Kind of. There should be some bigger and better translations coming out soon, right? But yeah, apparently, according to the Reddit sources at the moment, right?
Yes.
he's got the ability to permanently see in the future,
Nice.
which as a sniper is really impressive. It also kind of balances him like, I know this might sound weird. It balances him by having a prolonged future sight, because realistically, as a sniper, he's probably dirt in a hand-to-hand combat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm imagining like, even if he can like harky up his bullets, sort of thing. I'm imagining like the big thing is just going to be like, I hit my mark. He may not hit them very hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, he'll just be like annoying as hell to deal with.
The next bit of information I heard, allegedly, and I got to keep saying allegedly until I see it in my face properly, right? Is Ben Beckman.
Really Ben Beckman.
Apparently, he can permanently imbue bullets with haki.
What? Can't. What do you mean? Wouldn't Yasop be able to do that?
Apparently not.
What do you think permanently imbuing bullets with haki means?
I think that means. I mean, I guess it would be like the equivalent of making a bullet a black blade. I don't know. I would say what it is he can imbue a bullet with haki, and the haki will never fade.
So our meme of a meme of like him holding the gun up and just having like, you know, the gun with
one
only
bullet,
one bullet or no bullet
yeah,
in it.
yeah.
Maybe that's not a thing.
So like he's got one bullet with super like just permanent haki on it. He's just like, I got one shot, man. Don't make me use it. Yeah, this last one's really gonna get you going though.
Oh no.
Ooh. Captain of the Red Hair Pirates, Shanks, fights with. Actually, sorry. Let me help you this. You should go back to the top of the chapter. See the top of the chapter, the Uta stuff.
Yeah.
This will help. Top right, the first panel, where they're running away, right?
Okay.
Are you ready?
I don't have it yet. Wait. Oh God, where is it? Internet's being real slow. Look, scrolling down. Yes, top right, fire everywhere.
Allegedly, the captain of the Red Hair Pirates fights with Griffin, his flaming sword.
Ooh.
He is known far and wide as the killer of the color of observation, with the ability to stop someone using observation haki against him.
Wow.
So remember that thing that Rayleigh did while training Luffy? Anime only, mind you, where Rayleigh like goes, I'm erasing my presence on this one, and tries to hit Luffy, and Luffy still sensed it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's gonna be some crazy shit like that, where he's just like able to turn off people's observation haki against him.
Yeah. Okay.
But no wonder, like, because we talked about this in the past, where I was like, I want to put Shanks higher, but I couldn't, because as far as I knew, there was no other haki abilities, right?
Yeah.
With this, I'm like, no wonder Kaido put him so high up. Kaido with Future Sight gets just like immediately hard nerfed, and he's like, I can't use observation haki.
No. You know who gets immediately hard nerfed?
Katakuri?
Mihawk.
Mihawk? Does it though? Because Shanks never beat Mihawk.
Doesn't that just hype the fuck out of Mihawk?
Yeah, it does.
What the fuck is Mihawk? What if like at this point, what if Mihawk is like literally just like, he's like Im's son, and he's just like actually the strongest person in the world.
There's one other bit of information I got, but I think it may be a spoiler for the movie, because I saw people blowing up in the comments going, "Why would you put that there?"
Right.
I can tell you, but it's up to you if you want me to tell you or not.
Wait, actually, what if that's how Mihawk got his name, the Clairvoyant? He's like the only one
who can still use observation against Shanks.
Still use observation, yeah.
I mean, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, what you were saying?
Okay, so I think skip ahead like 3 minutes if you're if you don't want a spoiler for the movie. I don't know if it is a spoiler or not. I think it is because I copped the spoiler for it, but we're just talking about it because we're talking about Shanks at the moment, right? So skip ahead a few minutes if you wanted to do that. Shanks is apparently from a family called the Feeland family,
Okay.
and the Gorosei are the ones talking about this. So I want to say God Valley Feeland family Shanks is a member of the Celestial Dragons.
You want to say or you know?
I want to say. So
Okay.
apparently it's like Shanks Feeland or
Right.
Feeland Shanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the fact that it's like a known name, they're at God Valley where the Celestial Dragons used to reside, and it's the Gorosei talking about them. I feel like that's like as hard confirmation as you get without Oda coming out and being like, "Yeah," you know what I mean?
And the fact that he can just walk up and start talking to the Gorosei.
Yeah,
He may genuinely be a celestial dragon, but he was just raised on a pirate ship, and he doesn't really have any interest in going back.
yeah. Which I mean, out of Celestial Dragons that actually try to fight, batting 2 for 2 with Dofi and Shanks here.
Yeah, man.
Like,
They need to actually start pulling their weight
dude,
with celestial. I mean, hey, they've probably got a solid lineage. I mean, their ancestors are the ones that won the war, right?
pull this shit back. Does this not kind of hype up the Gorosei a bit? Because they're all Celestial Dragons. They're the
True.
top Celestial
Yeah.
Dragons. That's just got me looking at them being like, look, so far, the bottom benchmark's Dofi, and the ceiling is Shanks.
Yeah.
If I got anywhere near there, I'm already set for life. So if there's 5 of you dudes in that range, like, GG, game over, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, but yeah, that's some crazy bloody news, is it not?
Hmm.
The whole shutting down observation haki though. I want to say that this is unique to Shanks. I don't know how you feel about
Yes.
this
Yeah, no, that would have to be unique to Shanks.
because if
I would even say that, like, seeing Future Sight at all times is also unique.
to Yasop,
Yeah, with Yasop. I would say, like, and then potentially even, what's his name's one?
Ben
Is also
Beckman.
unique. I still don't know what they mean by, like, permanently imbues hockey. Like, to me, that could just be like a bad wording of, like, he can shoot hockey,
Well,
like we talked about in the past.
I would say
How,
what
like,
it
he doesn't
is
actually
you know how we
shoot
saw
all
the
the puck.
Kuja shoot arrows, and once they shot the arrows, they no longer had haki on them, and they went back to just being regular arrows.
Yeah, but I don't know what, like, benefit that is. And, like, this is like 3 points in a row of, like, this dude can always see in the future, and then Shanks can
Ooh.
turn off perception hockey. Like, so, you know what I mean? It can't just be like a fun little utility thing. It has to be powerful.
Yeah.
Beckman's one.
Shanks looking busted right now.
Straight up.
Dude, Shanks fans are eating well.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, that just smashes, like, everyone except for except for
Well,
Blackbeard, right?
it
Because Blackbeard, as far as we can see so far, don't. Wait, what if that's how? I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch, but, like, what if that's how? Nah, because Shanks wouldn't have that ability when he was little. I'm just thinking, like, what if, like, it doesn't affect Blackbeard and that's how he cut
I
Shanks?
mean, he could have had that ability when he was little. We don't know.
Yeah, I guess it would have had to be like some big mum shit where, like, it's innate in his body.
I mean, we don't know when he unlocked this stuff. We don't know when his ambition changed. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, that's some bloody out there note, like just hockey, like permanent future sight. What the shit?
Yeah, that's friggin' wild.
Which, dude, I love how that means him here going, "Oh, I'm not ready to meet Usopp yet." It's like because you're a deadbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's coming, man. He's gonna be like, "Yo, mum died, and you're a piece of shit. I love you, but like, what's up?" And he's like, "Yeah, about that. Sorry, Tiger. Sorry, sport."
Yeah,
Um,
just saying. Katakuri's biggest feat is that he has future sight.
well,
Yeah, so
it's
this
that
man.
he's it's that he's got future sight and a Logia like ability.
Yeah, I guess, but
Like, having the future sight without the Logia-like ability, you can still get hit. The Logia-like ability makes him essentially untouchable.
yeah, we need to see like a proper shooter and what they can do because like that's the thing is like okay, if Luffy were to punch you, you just like not stop the punch no matter what. Can you shoot a bullet like a hockey bullet and then it like hits the fist and like blocks the fist? You know what I mean?
I would say what it does is it either pierces or it doesn't. It either
Yeah,
pierces or it
right.
gets knocked out the way.
In which case, you either dominate everyone or you just get stomped because
Yeah.
you can't pierce them.
But then I would say the difference is if you're shooting someone, instead of shooting like a straight path on their fist, if you're putting out like heaps of shots and you're doing some like crazy shit where you're rebounding and like you're bending the bullet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
If you're doing some crazy stuff like that, the only way to defend against it would be to use full body armament or full body Rio, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So it's like,
I just had an awesome thought. Is it Baby Five, the person who turns into all the different
yeah,
weapons? Imagine getting her fruit and putting it into a gun. So the gun can just change into whatever you want it to turn into. Or,
interesting.
or specifically, the ammo can change at will. You can just immediately change to like bouncing bullets and then like
I
scatter shot and then like
I
piercing
still
bullets and then
I still demand a refill fruit, where you can refill anything that's empty with what it's been
yeah,
last
right.
filled with. Imagine that as a sniper, unlimited ammo.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, look, no wonder Green Bull ran away. He was going
What
up.
if you had that fruit and then you destroyed the wall of Wano and then as the water spilled out, you kept refilling it infinitely and flooded the entire world?
Look, I'm just gonna say this, right? No wonder Green Bull ran away, and no wonder no wonder Kaido didn't rock up at Marineford. Right? It's like we knew Kaido and King were going to Marineford and got intercepted by the Red Hair Pirates, right? How do you think that went? Bloody remember when the raid first happened and King went to draw his sword and Izo shot the sword out his hand?
Yeah.
Bro, he goes to even get it from the holster and Yasop's sitting there just like 3 fingers will be gone if you move any closer. And King's just like, oh
Either
shit.
way, it tells me that Ben Beckman at least has like a standard future sight.
You reckon?
If Shanks's perception haki is so good that he can like delete your perception haki, and then if Yasop, who's below him on the crew, has permanent, which is fair because he's a shooter, but has like permanent future sight, he has to at least have like basic future sight.
What if his armament is like? I mean, you were saying it before. Imagine if.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like anytime he would like duel any of his crewmates, he would just get
Dude,
punked on because they're
what if?
future sighting it.
What if he can do the barrier? Like you know the Rio barrier.
Yeah, right.
What if you could do that on a bullet?
Yeah.
That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
I mean, here's the thing though, is that like the feat that he's been given is that he has armament haki on his bullets, and he has a. Does he have a gun and a sword or just a gun?
Just a gun.
Just a gun.
Just a
Is
flintlock.
he a shooter as well? But then Yasop is supposed to be the best shooter. Like, how does that work?
Well, he could. Yeah, he could be the best marksman, but I mean, we know that Ben Beckman's smarter.
Can you imagine like a team up of like Yasop and like if Mihawk was on Shanks's crew, Yasop and Mihawk, and then Ben and Shanks, and they're like split up into teams of two,
Ooh.
fight people.
I mean, Ben and Shanks and Yasop and Mihawk, the sword sniper duo.
Yeah.
Just have Ben Beckman and Yasop ride on their swordsman's shoulders, and they're just like finessing around with the blade while the other's just sniping. But yeah, the whole Shanks being able to stop someone's perception haki, no wonder he was able to like defend against Kobe. You know what I mean? When he slipped in and protected Kobe at Marineford.
Oh yeah.
He probably erased his presence from anyone there until he was in there blocking, and they're just like, shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
It's definitely wild, man. It is definitely wild. And like we were saying, it's hard to tell whether or not this is just a buff for Mihawk Like, because Mihawk's whole original name was going to be the Clairvoyant, right?
Oh,
Could Mihawk do the same thing? That would be another interesting thing to ask.
yeah, that's true.
If Shanks and Mihawk both have this ability, and they're the only two that have it,
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
and then maybe that'll be a thing for Zoro going up in the future, and that'll be the ironic thing where it's like Zoro versus Sanji in a series, and like Sanji's whole thing is like, I have high tier observation haki. You couldn't possibly hit. Zoro's like, and it's off. That would be funny, would it not?
Yeah, it would definitely be good.
It's got me hyped to see this movie. I'm not gonna lie. Apparently, everyone in the movie gets a prolonged fight scene as well.
Who's in the movie?
Oh, I mean, all the red hair pirates. They get at least a fight scene.
Oh, really? All the redhead pirates will be in it. I figured it would just be like Uda and like they're not even in it, and Uda's just there, and it's just about Uda.
No, apparently all of them are in it, and all of them you will actually get to see how they fight and get to see their fight scenes.
Okay, I'm uber keen for this because I'm going to assume that like maybe their strength will be a bit off, but the way that they fight at least will be canon.
Mm. What am I looking for?
In terms of like when we see them fight in the manga, they'll fight the same way.
Mm. It'll
I'm assuming like Shiki actually fought the way that he fights in the movie.
Yeah, I get that. Damn it, what am I looking for? Here we go. Did you also see that other thing I posted, which was the... Okay, I got SBS Volume 103. Perfect. I've got the full thing by the looks of it as well. Perfect. Do you want to run through this? Do you need me to send this over to you?
Oh yeah, sure, let's do it.
Perfect. Two birds, one stone. Never hurts, doesn't it? There we go. I'll bring this over for the chat. This is just on Imager at the moment, ladies and gents. Because we also get to see all the Beast Pirates as kids. So starting off, we've got...
You just sent me one image.
Oh, did I? You can't scroll down?
It's just a picture.
Hang on.
Hang on. If I click open original, no, it's still a picture.
Oh, it's just sending the photo, is it?
Yeah.
Hang on. Same thing again?
Yeah, it's still a picture.
I don't know. Why is this being so difficult? How's this? Bloody hell, it's the exact same thing again, is it? I don't know how else to send it. Can you... Alright, do you have your Okay, type this in, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll send it to you. That'll... Gotta say sorry, stream for this at the moment. Try and copy and paste that. See if that works. Anyway, we'll start off. So, reader, I'll embarrass the SBS. Oda. Whoa, it's been embarrassed? That makes sense. No, it doesn't. Make sense. Alright. So, Odaichi, tell me, the mouse Chuji that Osamu-chan have looks identical to the mouse that Sanji made food for when he was a child. Are they related? Are they relatives or something? You remember it well. Sanji's kindness can be seen by the fact that he is liked by mouses. They are not relatives, but I felt relieved seeing that Germa hasn't taken Sanji when I saw a mouse identical to the one of that time liking him. However, Sanji has become stronger by the power of science that was manifested in his body. He also obtained the power to disappear, but be relieved. This is something based on speed. He can't use this technique in bathrooms. So, confirmation that Sanji's vanishing technique is just that he's moving so unbelievably fast.
Yeah, legit.
Which is crazy good to see, is it not?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Absolutely
I was
wild.
having this conversation with someone before, but it was like it's really funny because a lot of times you'll see in like different anime or anything, like you'll see them do something, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. They can do that. If they can do that, they must be able to do this. But then you never see them doing any of
Yeah.
that stuff. It's good when you have like he moves that quick, and then it's like, oh, maybe that's just some technique like Kuro, but it's like, no, this is like legit. He's moving that fast, and it's been confirmed.
And it's not to be confused with things like Zoro's moved so fast that he's moved faster than 100 people could see him. No, Sanji moves so fast that he maintains invisibility for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah.
Like that's
Zoro's
wild.
is like a single onigiri technique kind of thing. It's like the old
Linear
Japanese
movement.
samurai swords where they run at each other and then suddenly they just flash past each other. It's like a stylized kind of thing, you know.
It's a
But they
linear
can't actually
movement
run that fast.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second question. Hello, Oda Sensei. In chapter 1032, Yamato and Fuga talked closely. Since when are they so close? So Fuga is the one of the numbers, the one that was guarding them. Remember that guy?
Yes, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. About this, I wanted to draw it, but there were so many battles that I couldn't do it in the end. As you can see about Fuga, he has the power of the horse. It's a result of when he was hungry, he stole a smile from Kaido's room and ate it. Kaido was mad and put Fuga in a prison cell, and the other numbers laugh at him since he's got weird legs. After going through those bad experiences, Yamato told to a crying Fuga, "Those legs are so cool." So since then, they became good friends. So,
Okay.
suck to be the number that ate a smile. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
true.
you are hungry. Was there nothing else that you possibly could have eaten, man? But yeah, good for him. This is an interesting one. Does Fire Dragon Emperor Karyu Udon come from curry udon? Does King like udon? It is curry udon. His favorite food is flying fish sashimi, but udon curry is also delicious. So that was just a gag one. Like it's about the name of his abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hello Oda Sensei. Why is Momonosuke so perverted when he is 8 years old? Is Oda Sensei the same? The problem is, since when are kids perverts? I don't want to reveal it. If I do, they'll lose their rights. It's okay, kids. I won't speak. he's doing the people's service there. He's doing the people's service. I've made you wait for 23 years. Sorry, I've brought cola. Huh? What am I talking about? Oh, I told you in the SBS of Volume 9 that I wanted to drink cola. I had already brought it, but I forgot to pass it to you. Here it is. So this is a reader from 23 years ago. Doing a callback, which is funny. Oda. It's true? Thanks. But after checking, it says that the cola's expiry date is only half a year. No, I must drink it. Okay, gulp, gulp, gulp. Then we move on to... Oh god, I can't read now. I've searched in the English vocabulary the meaning of the word snatch. It says the act to seize, something like victory. I couldn't stop thinking about the relation with the snatch from the samurais. So can you tell us about that? Yes, it seems that it has several ways of use in English, but in Satsuma domain, there was a swordsmanship called Jigen Ryu, and they used to shout chest. There are various theories about the meaning, but I like the theory that the sentence "throw away your wisdom," being chained to the chest, has the meaning of empty your head and jump to your enemy. But if I use the same word, the worldview would be so weird. I used to I use the shout of throw away your wisdom and name as Snatch. And you've got this up in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so then we get to my favourite part.
Wait, no, sorry, I don't.
We get to...
It sent me to a 404 link.
Oh, really? Oof.
I just didn't want to.
Well, okay. I'll send the photo here. Okay, how about that? Because we get to my favorite part here, which is... We get to my favorite part here. Oh, pictures. Where did that just save? There we go. We get to my favorite part here, which is getting to see all the Beast Pirates as kids, which I think is very telling, right? So thank you for your hard work. I'm so curious about the appearance of the All-Stars in Topiropo when they were kids that I can't build Yamato's figure. If you can please draw them, please. It's unfortunate that you can't build Yamato's figure, okay, but I've already drawn Drake in the past, so I won't draw him this time, right? And we get to see all the others as kids. Now, the thing about this that's really interesting to me is how happy King is.
Yes.
Which says to me he's still with his people at this point in time in his life.
Yes, and his spear seems
like,
very Skypean-y.
Well, his spear seems Skypean-y, but it's also identical to the spear that Sun God Nika had.
Yeah.
So, I feel like there's going to be something really crazy going on in there in the future. You know what I mean? Mm. Also, I find it funny that Jack is fat.
I mean, he's a fat farmer. He's a big boy. He's a farmer.
Well, see, that's weird to me because if you look at Jack and Sasaki, they're fishmen. They've got the gills on their shoulders.
Yeah.
So does this not confirm that they're fishmen or at least half fishmen, both of them?
Oh yeah. I mean, Jack is at least, right?
Yeah.
He was literally said.
But I'm
pretty sure Sasaki would be.
We theorized this for ages about Sasaki, especially because of the sharp teeth, but it was never confirmed. Because there was always all those theories about him being Kokoro's kid. Because of the same hair, the train conductor hat, the age is matched up for going out and being a pirate, you know what I mean? Like, as far as we know, that's Tom's kid.
Yeah.
Crazy. I also really like Queen. Although it doesn't look like Queen in any way to me. I don't know, like...
You know what Queen looks like? Queen looks like a fat version of the bad kid from Toy Story. The next door neighbor.
Sid?
Yeah, Sid.
Oh.
He's fat Sid.
Oh. Huh. But he's already a scientist at like that young age and that, just going away like crazy, mixing stuff up. So it's weird though, because to me, Jack makes sense. Jack looks a little grumpy. Same with like Peijon and Oldie. Sasaki never was like a bad guy, so I could sort of see him like that. King we see turn tragic. Queen makes no sense to me. Queen is
Page 1 and LP.
Oh, dude, it's such a good relation, isn't it? And arguably at that point in time in their life, wouldn't that be around when they joined Kaido's crew?
Yeah, probably.
Because they joined his crew when they were very young, and then they stole fruits.
I mean, for a little girl to be running around with like a hammer that has spikes out of it, you know, obviously they're living pretty rough.
It's also interesting to see.
It's all messed up.
It's also interesting to see whose horns are natural.
Yep.
And obviously he's off training because that's when he was part of CP9. But yeah, I love it, getting to see all the kids and stuff like that. I reckon it's one of my favorite type of SBSs, getting to see that sort of information for them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right. Then we have the last page. Tell me the PTA, Parent-Teacher Association, you like and the one you hate. The PTA I like is the one when I enjoy One Piece with kids. The one I hate is there is no way I would hate it. Smiles. Just as Law accepted that he is from the D clan, the sworn enemy of the gods, you should also accept that you are the sworn enemy of the PTA. No! I want to be liked by the PTA, but I also want to draw the dreams of kids. Damn it. Uh, then it also okay. We got hello Oda-san. Can you poop? I pooped so much that I could see a town of Tokyo when I looked down. Damn it. And then we get to the last SBS question of this batch of SBSs. Nin Nin, it seems that Raizo and Fukurojuku are rival ninjas, but I wanted to know what happened between them. Nin Nin. So that's the story I went over before. This will probably explain it a lot better though, so we'll read through it, okay? Needless to say, I also skipped this. To put it shortly, it's like this. The genius ninja Raizo, who was Maki Maki no Jutsu, who has the Maki Maki no Jutsu, and has an outstanding physical ability, loved Fukurojuku's sickly little sister, Fukumi. At a certain point, Raizo saved Fukumi in a mission, and Fukumi fell in love with Raizo's reliable appearance and tried to kiss him. But the naive Raizo pushed Fukumi aside, and she got hurt. Raizo couldn't look her in the face and escaped. Fukumi fell ill. Oh, sorry. Fukumi and escaped. Fukumi fell ill in bed and called Raizo's name until she died. Fukurojuku mistook those words as a grudge, and it said that his face and ears were stretched because of that. He promised to himself that he would not forgive Raizo for the rest of his life, and Raizo doesn't make any excuses. So, pretty much what I went through before. Oh, crap, I didn't realise there's another page. Whoa, there's another 2 pages to this. I thought that was the end of it. God, these SPSs are getting long, aren't they?
Yeah.
Hello, Oda-sensei. I've been selected to be a board member of the PTA next year. It was a recommendation... Oh, God, okay, it's a PTA one. Okay, I'm skipping that. I'm skipping the PTA ones from now on, okay?
PTA?
Yeah, Parent-Teacher Association. If the Straw Hats write a schedule of 1 whole month, what will be the most written plans? To begin with, I think the only one who cares about days and time is Nami as the navigator. Sanji also cares about time, and Robin about days. They usually don't do birthday parties. They usually do something as an excuse to do banquets. Excluding guard duty and steering duty, the answer would be free time for everyone. What's the food that Luffy and the others ate in Wano Kuni that they liked? So Luffy liked Odin, Zoro liked sushi, Nami liked Oshiruko, Usopp liked Soba Misoni, Sanji liked Chawan Mushi, Chopper liked Ichigo Daifuku, Robin liked Soba, Frankie liked Tendon, and Brooke liked Mitarashi Dango, and Jinbei liked Ochazuke. Now we're getting to the last page. God, I already said that once. Let's not make this mistake again. Belly button. My heart sounds like Don 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 Don. Why? By Jinbei. Don't tell me. Catch him. Catch Jinbei right now. Those heart sounds are his blood pressure. Bring him to a hospital. So I think that was in relation to the Gear 5 heartbeat. Right?
Yeah.
Why is Orochi still alive? Does this mean that Hebi no Mi mythical model Yamato no Orochi has 8 lives? Yes, if you don't cut off its head 8 times, it doesn't die. This is also the power. Annoying. That's pretty busted.
Yeah.
So you
specifically be its head as well.
Yeah, so you got to cut the heads off to beat it. That's messed up.
Yeah. Imagine if someone actually strong had that fruit.
Oh, dude.
Although to be fair, we haven't seen any of its mythical powers yet, right? Could be that that's kind of it.
Even still, like, you know how I was talking before about the whole the mix and match of devil fruits. Could you imagine that in combination with another fruit where you've got 8 lives where specifically you got to cut the head off?
Yeah, true.
That'd be busted. Then we get the messed up, disgusting anatomy of a poo. So, a poo's head is a cymbal, teeth are pianos, chest is a drum, left arm is a trumpet, right arm is a string instrument, and the instrument in his chin sounds as puff. What are the rest of the instruments? So, he's got a violin in his right forearm, castanets in his hand. He's got brass. He's got a brass elbow and a guitar bicep, right?
Mm.
He's got a puffu chin, cymbal head, horn in his hair. He's got a flute in his left fingers, right? A tambourine.
Mm.
He's got a tambourine on his back. He's got a trumpet elbow. He's got drum stomach, accordion waist, violin left leg. He's got a turntable and speaker in his right leg. So he's got like the DJ booth in his right leg. And to top it all off, instead of genitalia, he's got a triangle. I think that's the best part of that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Does that mean a poo can't have kids? He can just ring his triangle? Dude, I'm gonna have to go back, and anytime in the One Piece soundtrack that Apu's fighting, if you hit a triangle, you know what that means now, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
You know the messed up origins of the triangle dangle dangle. But yeah, so that was chapter 1056, SBS 103, and some of the information from chapter 4 billion. Is there any other words or anything else you want to talk about there, Daniel?
Oh, I thought it was very interesting.
Educational to say the least.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this chapter, although it was a great chapter, there wasn't a lot to talk about.
Yep.
The biggest point was really cross guild, but like, there's so much speculation to have about it. There's nothing really to talk about until we see action on it.
Yeah, and we'll be constantly coming up with random things over time anyway, so we'll probably do callbacks to it.
The only other thing is that I will say is it looked like Mihawk, either his collarbone is drawn oddly or he's got a new scar on his chest. That is one thing I did pick up there, if you see that.
Hang on, let me go back to it. Scroll down. Scar on his chest. Where? It's pretty far down. I've gone past. There it is.
So it's either his collarbone's
yeah.
drawn oddly or he's got a new scar.
That's not a collarbone. There's crosses through it. There's like stitches.
Again, though, that could be like shading.
Different.
That could be shading. Like, look at Crocodile's neck. You get similar sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. It does kind of look like to me like it might have been a cut that's been stitched together.
Mm.
He took a wound.
Definitely
Weird
interesting.
to see.
Definitely
Yeah.
interesting. But yo, that being said, let's wrap up the stream. Yeah, we've been going for an hour and a half. Honestly, an hour longer than I thought we were gonna get through. But yeah, cheers for coming by. Say your last piece, my guy.
That's it. I'm good.
You're good. All right, sweet. Cheers for coming. Nothing but love. Nothing but respect. Have a good day until the next chapter of One Piece, which it's not this weekend because there's a break this weekend, unfortunately. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure there's a break this weekend.
Is this the what's it called break? Magazine break?
Yeah, I think so. If not, I'll be excited, but because remember last time I thought this chapter wasn't coming out because I thought it was a break, but I'm pretty sure it's this week coming. That's a break, and it's a magazine break.
To be honest, if we get 5 weeks in a row, that's like we're getting spoiled.
Oh yeah. But that being said, peace, nothing but love, nothing but respect. Have a damn good day.